Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? How's it going? Checking in today on this beautiful Monday. Um, After the San Francisco game, we're gonna do our player grades today, where we grade our players. Unfortunately, last week we didn't get to do it because I got the run in my mouth about things totally not related to what we normally do on Monday. Got to a conversation about wrestling. So did not get to do the player grades. So definitely making a point today to do our player grades like we do every week after the game. So again, that was my bad last week. I got totally off topic. But we're coming off a victory. We're now 3-3. Great home victory for the Falcons yesterday. Excellent home victory. Before we get into our player grades, do my little, I guess, monologue. I do want to touch on something that really caught my eye uh, as I was, you know, navigating through the social media world immediately after the game, and I'm sure y'all all have seen it as well. But the visual or the video with our head coach Arthur Smith right after the game, drinking Bud Light, drinking beer with what seemed to be his offensive lineman. I may be mistaken here, but I really only saw the offensive lineman gathered up drinking beer with him. And my thoughts on that is I thought that was some real dope shit. Just to be blunt, I thought that was some real dope shit. For Coach Smith to do that to because pretty much most NFL head coaches hold themselves at a higher level than the actual players do. Not saying that they're better than the players, but they hold themselves at a higher level. Because really, it's a chain of authority type of thing. Even though we know most of the players, or I don't know, we'll say a good bit of the players make more money, but still, for Coach Smith to actually humble himself and to do that right after the game, that was something that I love to see. I love to see that when I saw it yesterday. I think that's probably the dopest thing that I've seen from a Falcons head coach since the late great Dan Reeves did the Dirty Bird right after the NFC Championship game. And rest in peace to Coach Reeves, but he was terrible dancing. But it's just that bond that you build with your team, and that was genuine. You could see it in Coach Arthur Smith's face. You can see it in the player's face. That was genuine, and that's just some real dope stuff to see. So I really enjoyed watching that camaraderie between the players and the coach. Them tossing back a few cold ones with each other. That was just some real dope shit to me, man. So I want to give props to Coach Smith just for doing that, man, because that was awesome to see, and that lets me know that there's a bond and a respect level there between him and his players. And like I said, it looked like most of the offensive line, and maybe because he used to be a former offensive line, so maybe he kind of catered to them a little bit more, being that that's the position he played. But the offensive line, man, they're the heart of the team. Offensive line is the heart of the team. They the one that they're the part of the team that don't get any glory or recognition, but they're the heart of the team, you know. Um, and I also think that unit is the closest on the team. Offensive linemen, they stick together. They stick together. They roll as a unit. You mess with one, you're gonna have to mess with all. And that was just dope to see. It was just dope to see. That also let me know that he was very pleased on how his guys performed in that game, running the ball well once again against a top rated defense. So after the game, after job well done, excuse me, instead of doing the old cliche coach speak, great job, guys, hey, great job. That's exactly what I had in mind. Coach Smith was like, fuck it. Let's toss back a few beers, you know? Let's toss back a few beers, man. Right here in the locker room. I love that, man. I loved it. Granted, we didn't win anything noteworthy, No kind of trophy was won yesterday. No championship was won yesterday. But that was a building moment between a team. And moments like that are what eventually do win championships and eventually do win trophies. So again, salute Coach Smith. I love to see that. And it's probably insignificant to a lot of people, but me being a football guy, that was just a special bonding moment between the coaches, or between the coach and his player. And we all know by now, Coach Smith got kind of I say this respectfully, but he got kind of like a quirky personality. And to just see him let his guard down in that fashion, when he know the cameras are on, see him break a few smiles, because Coach Art Smith rarely smiles, y'all. You kind of remind you of Belichick as far as how their personality go. But to see him let his guard down and just be one of the fellas, kick back a cold one, it was just dope. So I really enjoyed seeing that yesterday. Shout out to your Facebook user. How's it going? How's it going? But that's pretty much all I got. Before we get to the grades, that was dope to see. And also I'll talk a little bit on Troy Anderson, because we've been talking about him a lot. I was very, very pleased by his performance yesterday. His first start as a rookie. I thought he did phenomenal for his first start. And I'm saying phenomenal based on him being a rookie and that's his first start in the NFL. I thought he did a great job. There again, we can nitpick things here and there, but second round pick for a rookie, man, job well done. Job well done. So shout out to Troy too. Hopefully he continues to prove, and um yeah, y'all. Hope I continue to improve, man. I said this before, but this could potentially be a franchise changing rookie draft class that we just had, man. Those guys that we drafted, they're playing some damn good football at this time. So hopefully we continue. Hopefully they continue to blossom, continue to grow, and we continue to draft great. Because those guys really playing their asses off. My guy John Harris checking in says a Stone Cold Steve Austin move. It definitely was, John. It definitely was. Bust that be over and just crank it on back. I love to see it, John. Like I said, I know you remember when your guy John Coach Reeves was doing the Dirty Bird right after the NFC Championship game, and that was just the dopest thing I seen from a coach, from a Falcons head coach since that. And that's been a long time. What, like 25 years? So I just think that was a dope moment, a special moment, a bonding moment between the team. So with that said, let's get to these grades, man. Let's get to these grades. I can't hold y'all long today. So let's go ahead and get to our player grades. As we already know, anybody that's new to this, we all come together day after the game, and we give our own players grade. We grade our own players. PFF, they release grades after every game, and we do something similar, but we grade on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you're absolutely trash, find another profession. football in for you. Turn in your shoulder pads, your helmet, and your mouthpiece. Exit left. Don't turn around. You garbage. 10, perfect game. Perfect game. So scale of 1 to 10. We always know how that go. 1 the absolute worst. 10 is perfection. So we're gonna get to our player grades. Got my guy Rusty Moore Jr. checking in the building. What's up with you, Rusty? Rusty says when asked about injuries today, Arthur Smith basically said Hayward probably gonna be out long term. Ah, damn. And Hayward was kind of starting to get some momentum going and play well. And we got to get injury buzz kind of hint us a little bit now. But hey, next man up. Hopefully he won't be sidelined too long. Hopefully. John Harris says Reeves was doing the dirty dap. that one of them old school juke joint dances, John? The dirty dap. I never heard of that one. My guy Daniel stepping in the building. What's up with you, Daniel? Says Hall stepped up. Darren Hall did step up. He definitely stepped up. So shoot, let's get to the grades, man. Let's get to the grades. We always start off with defense, so I guess there's no need to change it, right? So let's look at the defense real quick. Who we gonna start with this week, y'all? Let's see. Let's start with AJ Terrell. Let's start off with AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell's stats are as follows. AJ had a total of 4 tackles, 2 assists, 2 solo tackles. He also had a fumble recovery where he damn near scored a touchdown as well. And I guess we do need to give him credit. I don't think he'll allow very many receptions yesterday. Somebody can correct me on that because I didn't focus on AJ a whole lot yesterday. But just to reiterate AJ's stats, 4 total tackles, 2 assists, 2 solo tackles, 1 fumble recovery, which almost resulted in a touchdown. And AJ Terrell also had 1 pass deflection. So I want to definitely include the pass the deflection being that he's a cornerback. They take pride in that, So ladies and gentlemen, do your boy a favor. Drop those grades for me. Please. RJ Smith checking in. What's up with you, bro? How's it going today? Daniel says hit Hall's voice kills me though. Pitch. I don't know if I've ever heard him talk. John Harris got AJ Terrell coming in at an 8. Rusty Moore says, hey, not to get off subject from the grades, but question for you. The kid Hooker from Tennessee is 24. He will be 25 by the time he's drafted. How much does age play into draft position, especially for the quarterback? I think that would be a way bigger concern if we were talking a running back. But for a quarterback, I don't think that's going to be a huge red flag at all. We're seeing our former quarterback right now, Matt Ryan. He's 37 years old. He just had him a comeback victory yesterday. So, conventionally speaking, you draft him at age 25. You're gonna get at least 10 solid years off of him. So I don't think that's gonna be a huge concern for the quarterback position, especially how they treat quarterbacks now, man. As we all know, they ain't gonna let you rough up the quarterbacks, So I don't think that's a huge deal at all. If anything else, some teams may look at it as bonus, like, hey, this guy's probably more mentally mature than 95% of the draft class. Daniel checks in, says an 8.9 for AJ. Steve Johnson. Oh, Steve came and cutting and throwing low blows at AJ. He says 6. Horrible fumble on the goal line that could have cost us a touchdown. Rustin says an 8. Anthony Moss 7.5. Anthony said AJ too good to get caught in a whip route like that. Daniel says Hayden Hurst is considered old when he was drafted. How old was Hayden when he was drafted? 24. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. So we grade AJ Terrell scale of 1 to 10. Any more grades for AJ before we close down the ballots? RJ Smith checking in with a 7 for AJ. Any other grades for AJ? So guess we'll go ahead and do our consensus real quick. We got an 8. AJ looks like he's gonna come in at about right around 8, slightly under a 8. He's probably like 7.8, 7.9, probably like 7.9 based on the little math I did in my head. But since we won dominant yesterday, we'll round AJ up and just say an 8. You know, we'll give him a little benefit of the doubt. We got another 8 came in for Facebook users too. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll just give him 8. We'll say 8. Hey, very, very good game, AJ Terrell. Very good game. Started out the season kind of a little bit bumpy. We expected more from you, but we like what we saw from you yesterday. Very, very good game, AJ. You know what I'm saying? We're very pleased. Keep up the great work. Lisa Shepard checking in. How's it going today? Lisa says, I don't understand how AJ lost the ball. Like, did the air cause him the fumble? I think he was trying to do his best Julio impression. You know, and Julio had that touchdown when he was doing like AJ was. I don't know. Maybe he got small hands and fingers. I'm not sure. Rusty says, Steve makes a good point. Nice recovery, but hold on to the ball, my boy. That could have been a touchdown if Hawk wasn't there. Good point, too. Scooter Rain comes in, said, I think he could have came back in the game. I gave him a 7, so Scooter gives him a 7. So I guess we'll bump AJ down to 7.8, 7.9. Still a very good game. You know, we're still pleased with that. But we'll move on to our next player. Let's see who we're going to go with next. Let's see. Let's go with Big Grady. Let's go with Big Grady because Big Grady been just so dominant lately. So let's go with Grady Jarrett today. Grady Jarrett stats as follows: total 3 tackles. He had 3 assists. No solo tackles for Grady Jarrett. You know, he did flash. You know, he did flash a few times also. I know I did see one play in particular where he actually absolutely demolished 2 offensive linemen. So he did have plays where he was causing some havoc. And I think he did get half a sack taken away from him also for a penalty. I don't know if that influences you guys' votes or not. And also, Grady Jarrett also had 1 pass deflection. You know, he got that on the stat sheet. So we'll take all that in consideration also when we grade our guy Grady Jarrett. So what are y'all feeling? What are your thoughts? What are your grades for Grady Jarrett? Again, we're going on a scale of 1 to 10. Throw them grades at your boy. Let me see what you got. Ray Ellison checking in the building. How's it going today, Ray? How you doing, my brother? We're grading Grady Jarrett right now. Rusty says 7. I take into account he has doubled every play. Fair point. Fair point. Tony Turner used to kill me on that last year when I was trying to, do my bargaining with Grady, see if we can get something for him. And Tony was like, hey man, you crazy. You forgetting the man double and triple team pretty much every single play. So good point you make there, Rusty. Steve Johnson checking in says a 9 for Grady. They were holding him all day. Man, it seemed like they hold Grady every game, to be totally honest. Daniel says Grady had Jimmy G having happy feet in the second half. What's your grade, though, Daniel? You've got to give us a grade. Anthony Moss says a 8.5. That man was fighting trap blocks and double teams all game, so you pretty much are agreeing with Russ, 8.5. RJ Smith checks in. He gives him a 9. Facebook user also has a 9. Daniel, there go Daniel. Grade 9 for Grady. We're going to need Big Grady against Cincy. Good point. Good point. We definitely are. Norman gives him an 8. What's up, Norman? John Harris, who's notoriously one of the toughest judges, gives him a 9. He got ripped off for a sack. He did, John. I hated that, man. I'm not going to get too off track, but that's the second consecutive game, man, that he's had a sack taken away from him. And I want Grady to get his sacks up because, the position he plays, that's a big accomplishment, man. It's kind of like when a cornerback get an interception and get called back. But yeah, moving along. Norman gives him a 9. Okay, so Norman has changed his grade and made it a 9. So any other grades for graded before we close out the ballots? Okay, so let's calculate this up real quick. Um, 8.8. Ray Ellison gives him a 9. Also, grade is like high 8s, y'all. 8.7, 8.8, 8.9. Slightly below a 9. So he was exceptional, phenomenal, dominant once again. Like y'all say, causing all kind of havoc and getting double teamed every play. So another dominating performance by Grady Jarrett, excuse me, who's campaigning for first team All Pro. So keep it up, big man. Keep it up. Scooter says Grady should have 6 sacks by now. You are absolutely correct, Scooter, man. He getting robbed for sacks. Ray Allen says, it's rare that I ever seen him have a bad game. True. Last year he was a little bit, but we won't go into that. So let's go to our next player. Let's see who we're gonna go with next, y'all. We got a lot of numbers this week. Somebody mentioned him earlier, so let's grade him. Let's go at Darren Hall. Let's go with the young man Darren Hall. Looking at the stat sheet, excuse me, Darren Hall had 2 total tackles. He had a solo tackle, 1 assist on the tackle. Also, hey, 2 pass deflections, man. Darren Hall had broke up 2 passes. Hey, that's big time for a guy like Darren Hall giving us some real key minutes. So again, 2 tackles, 1 solo, 1 assist, and 2 passes deflected. So, and you got in everyone's opinion, what do you got for Hall? What would you give Darren Hall for his grade? And again, we are grading Darren Hall scale of 1 to 10. Let's see. Scooter Rain gives him a 9. Did a great job filling in for AJ. Yes, he did. And we're grading Darren Hall. Any other grades for Darren Hall? Darren Hall. I guess most people, Scooter, gonna sit the Darren Hall grade out, man. Like he was the only one up there. So looks like by default he might get a 9. Let's see. Okay, there go Rusty. Rusty says quarterback is my second favorite position behind quarterback. I love a DB who can man up a wide receiver without being penalized. Hall had sticky coverage yesterday. 9. Okay, that's big coming from Rusty. Rusty like kind of like John Harris. They some tough judges. So if Rusty give you a 9, he was very impressed with you yesterday. Trust me. Daniel comes in with 8.5 for coming off the bench the way he did. Good point. Ray Ellis says that he's with Scooter on this, so he gives him a 9. Okay, got it. Steven Johnson said Hall 8 came in as a pinch hitter. Fun fact, he has a 65 on Madden. I did not know that. Yeah, Steve keeping up with man. Steve, I know your son be killing you on that game. Anthony Moss checks in. I'll give him an 8 as he came in and stepped up and played with confidence. Yes, he did, man. We didn't miss a beat when he came in. Gave us some good minutes, good reps, great reps. RJ Smith gives him an 8.3. John Harris gives him an 8 also. So I don't know. I guess we'll get ready to close the ballot box on that. Daniel also says the confidence in the secondary is growing, and you can see it every week. I totally agree. Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, sir. But Daniel, isn't this the second consecutive week the defense don't give up any points in the second half? If that's correct, which I think it is, man, that's huge for us. Yes, huge for us. You know, we all know the struggles we've had with playing defense on this team. So that's something to really build on. Let's see. Facebook user gives him an 8 also. So we'll go ahead and tally up these numbers here. We got 2 9 7 8.6 8.5 0.4. So he's right. He's right. 8.3, 8.4. If we want to be nice, we can give him 8.5. I guess we all in a good mood today. So 8.4, 8.5. Phenomenal job. Played great. We couldn't ask for nothing better. And being a pinch hitter, as Steve pointed out. So great job, Hall. Keep up the great work. Hey, you get more playing time doing stuff like that or playing like that. So we're gonna move on. Let's go to who we gonna go with next? Let's go to the Hawk. Let's go to the Hawk. Let's go Jalen Hawkins. Let's go with the Hawk. The Hawk stat line: 4 total tackles, 1 solo tackle, 3 assists, 1 pass deflected. Also, 1 touchdown. So I'll give you those numbers again. Jalen Hawkins is who we're grading on a scale of 1 to 10. Jalen had 4 total tackles, 1 solo tackle. He assisted on 3 tackles. He had 1 pass deflected, and also he scored a touchdown on defense for us. Also, so hey, what do y'all got for Jalen Hawkins? What would y'all say for Hawkins today? Scale of 1 to 10. Let's see. Daniel comes in first, and he gives Jalen a 7.9. So, like you said, that's a solid 7.9. We'll take that all day long, and we're grading Jalen Hawkins scale of 1 to 10. Big Tim Hensley is in the building. How you doing today? Tim checks in and gives him a 8. See, Steve gives him a 9.5 for the Hawk. Defensive player of the game. Okay, I can dig that, Steve. Man, what John Harris must have been drinking early because he getting everybody good grades. That's so unlike him. He normally mess up the numbers. So, but John gives the Hawk a 8. Facebook used to say, you get a TD, you get a 10 from me. Okay, I love it. Perfect 10. Perfect 10 on the scorecards for the Hawk. Anthony Moss, 8. Hawk was all over the place. He was, man. I like Jalen Hawkins, y'all. I'm telling y'all. I'm starting to like these safeties. Going into the season, I was like, I don't know what these young dudes gonna do. Boy, I was saying it to myself. I ain't want to be negative because they were young. They starting to come into their own. And they really starting to develop some chemistry with one another. They starting to talk back there. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from these safeties, man. I really am. Rustin Moore says a 9 for the Hawk. Rustin must have been drinking with John. Because they normally tough judges, but they getting everybody 8.5s and 9. But Rustin says a 9 for the Hawk. The kid makes plays every time he is on the field. Start rotating with bomb ass Eric Harris. A 9. Okay, I mess with it. I like it, Rustin. Norman says get a Hawk 8.5 for the TD. Facebook user says an 8, and this is Mike. What's happening, Mike? How's it going? Ray Ellison says I'm gonna give him a 9. We got UC2 Smooth checking in for you from YouTube. What's happening with your UC2 Smooth? How's it going, bro? Gives him a 10. So we got 2 10s for the Hawk. Hawk might get the highest grade today, man. I see these 10s popping out. So let's count it up. RJ Smith gives him a 9. I love it. Facebook user gives him a 10. Another 10 popped up. Daniel says, I think it's laughable that people call these grown men kids. Well, you see, you probably still young yourself, Daniel. I think you still in your 20s. But once you bridge over into 40, and once you get old and ancient like Steve, they kind of are, kids to you at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because you pretty much old enough to be their fathers. But that's a name with affection when you call them kids. Fat finger scores from John. Daniel says like Chad. Okay, like Chad Johnson said, child, please. All right, so let's count it up. Let's count it up. Let's see here. We got 9.5, 8.5, 8, 8.8, 8.6, 8.7. 8.6, 8.7, 9.1, 9.3. Steve. Hey y'all, the Hawk is over 9. Hawk is like 9.2, 9.3. Almost a perfect game from the Hawk. And scoring, being aware to pick up that fumble and secure that touchdown, man. That's big. That's big. So knocking on the door perfect, man. In other words, Hawk, we can't ask for a better game. You basically played the perfect game for us. So, hey, keep up the work. Keep up the work, young man. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's move on. Let's go. Next, we're gonna go with let's see here. Let's go with his partner in crime, y'all. Let's go with his partner. Let's go with Richie Grant. Let's go over Richie Grant. Richie Grant stats are as follows: 6 total tackles for Richie Grant. 5 solo tackles. That means to me that man was making a lot of open field tackles. 6 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. 1 pass deflected from Richie Grant. So again, 6 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. Only had one assist on the tackle. And no pass deflect. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. 1 pass deflected for Richie Grant. So Richie Grant kind of filled up stat sheet. All he needed was a sack. But what y'all get Richie Grant, man? What y'all got for Richie? Daniel said, I won't turn 25 to May. Oh man, you just got out of your teenage years. That's why you said that. Look at him, Steve. He just old enough to buy him a bill. He just got out of his teenage years. Says your boy can ball on that field too. I just played semi-pro since I gave up college ball. I like to hear that. What position are you playing, Daniel? If you don't mind sharing with us, sir. Young man, I won't call you a kid, young man. Mo Lewis checking in the building. What's happening with your big Mo? Mo says, rise up to you, Mo. Let's see. Scooter Rain says Richard got truck was all over the field, solid 8. So Scooter Rain gives him a 8 for Richard Grant. Anthony Moss checking in. I got to give Richie a 9 for the simple way he got steamrolled by Kittle, but he took it like a GA. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. Anybody ever played football, especially on defense, somebody gonna get you, man. It's kind of like playing basketball. You eventually gonna get dunked on. It happens. Happens to the best of them. Norman says 5 solo tackles. I got to get a man a 9. So Norman gives him a 9, a solid, strong 9 coming in from Norman. Dan says Richard did get run over by Debo, so I can't give him a high grade, but I give him an 8.7. That's still a great grade. John gives him an 8. So John checks in and gives him an 8. Rustin Moore says Pease loves Richie. Yeah, he does. He was talking very highly of Richie Grant before the season started. You were absolutely correct. He goes out his way to bring up his name, even when the question has nothing to do with him. You call him the teacher's pet or something, Rustin? He hit Debo on that interception play by Hawk. 9 for Richie. So I don't know what they got into John and Rusty giving all these high grades because they know there's some tough judges. But Rusty gives him a 9. Facebook user gives him a 9 also. Steve Johnson clapping back, called him a whippersnapper. Ray says my man still got milk on his tongue. Yeah, he do, man. He do. He do. He probably ain't had no 100+ proof liquor yet, man. You know what I'm saying? He probably still drinking champagne and stuff like that, man. You know. RJ says 9. Richard was balling. Dane says he played free safety and sometimes wide out shifty slot guy. I love it, man. I love it. Keep balling, man. Dan says I still run 4.4 at 25. Boy, you got some speed, don't you? You might need to go out there to Flower Branch and try next spring a 4.4 shoot. I played football, but I never clocked in at a 4.4. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I never clocked in at a 4.4. Steve Johnson says Richie 8. These safeties will be special in 2023. I totally agree with you on that. Dan says shifty for a 6-foot guy. Facebook user gives him an 8. Mo Lewis checks in, gives him a 7. Ray Ellis, Ray Ellis said you still smell like Similac. Rusty says, as far as me and John giving high grades, karma is amazing. What winning can do for fans. You're absolutely correct. Hey man, you start winning, them grades get high. So let's do the math for Richie real quick. Let me go back up real fast. 8.5, 6.5, 8.6. Hey man, Richard got like an 8.5. 8.5. Hey man, exceptional game. Great game. Great game, young fella. Young man, great game. You know, damn near excellent game. You know, you and your tag team partner there, the two safeties, y'all play great for us. So hey, great game, man. We're gonna call it 8.5. We're gonna move on. Let's go next to a lot of guys played defense yesterday, so we're gonna have to leave out some people. Let's go Rashawn Evans. Rashawn Evans, who has played some good football for us thus far going into the San Francisco game. Him along with Walker, our two leading tackles leading up to this game. I've liked what I've seen from Evans personally. So let's look at his stat line from today's game yesterday's game. So let's see. He had a total 12 total tackles, 7 solo tackles. Let me give you that again. 12 total tackles, 7 solo tackles. He assisted on 5 tackles also himself. So he was in double digits once again in tackles with a total of 12. My man Evans also had a pass deflected as well. So 12 total tackles, 7 solo tackles, assisted on 5 tackles, 1 pass deflected for Mr. Rashawn Evans. Hey, y'all, if y'all would be so kind, what are y'all grades there for Evans? So let's see. Like I said, the stare down P's gave AJ when he got beat by Brandon. He pointed to his own eyes and was like, do you get food? And it definitely sent a message to the corners. Daniel says, fast time ever clock was 4.39. You got blazing speed. You got NFL speed. That's technically world class speed if you run it under 4.4. I was track guy as well as football player. Okay, that makes sense there. Steve gives Rashawn Evans a 8. Eric Parker's checking in the building. What's going on, Eric? Eric gives him a 9. My guy David Starr checking in. How you doing today, David? Gives him a 7. Mo Lewis checking in. Gives him an 8. Daniel says Evans was a huge pickup. I'll give him a 9.4. Ooh, I like that. RJ Smith gives him an 8.7. Facebook user checks in. I say he has him at a 8 for Evans. Anthony Moss said 9. That is that PBU. That PBU was a clutch one late in the game. And boy, as a dog, he plays with straight attitude. He does, man. He's like one of them old throwback Dick Butkus type of linebackers. He just plays with attitude, aggression, physicality. I like it too. I like it a lot. But Anthony Moss gives him a 9. Let's see here. John Harris gives him an 8. Norman Mills gives him an 8.5. Facebook user gives him an 8. Rusty Moore says, anyone surprised by Evan play clearly has not watched him much the past few years. Gives him a 9. So Rusty checking in with high ass grade. I think Rusty done hit that bomb before he came on. I'm messing with you, Rusty. Dance Evans with the thumper that we needed. All right, so let's do our calculations, y'all. Let's do the math. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, 9.5.4.3. Evans, y'all, we got him right at about an 8.4. We can be nice to give him an 8.5, but 8.4, 8.5 is pretty much the same. Great game. Great game. Another great game from Evans all over the field, making tackles, being a veteran leader on defense, which we've needed a long time on this defense. Shout out to the defense once again, shutting the 49ers down on the scoreboard in the second half. So another great game for Evans, man. Another great game. Damn near excellent game. So let's move on. This might be our last defender, y'all. And saved him for last on purpose. But based on like how I'll be doing it anyway, he was gonna be kind of last anyway, based on where he at on the stat sheet. And Daniel Hush, a kid out of Montana State, taken in the second round. Not gonna lie to y'all, when they called his name on draft day, I had to get on Google immediately once I heard his name. I was like, who the fuck is that? And we just spent the second round on this motherfucker. Who the fuck is that? You got all these big time SEC players sitting here ain't got drafted. And you gonna take somebody from fucking Montana State? Terrifying. No, you gotta be drunk up there. But anyway, Troy Anderson filled up the stat sheet himself yesterday. Troy, let's look at the stats. Total of 13 tackles. His first NFL start, led the team in tackles. So 13 tackles. He assisted on 6 tackles, 7 solo tackles, which also was he tied with Evans for the lead for that game for solo tackles. So 13 total tackles, assisted on 6 tackles, 7 solo tackles, and also made a very key play on special teams. It looked like San Francisco was about to take a play for a touchdown. Troy Anderson used that 4.4 Daniel speed. He walked somebody down and saved the touchdown, and that was very critical because they scored that touchdown. Hey man, they're gonna probably snatch all the momentum from us. But anyway, grades, please. What do y'all give Mr. Troy Anderson on his grades? Let's see. Daniel says, not gonna lie, a big fan of returning Kents is all the I'm not, excuse me. There's all the concussions I've suffered in the past. Hey, be careful out there, man. Be careful. Most says Grady. Yeah, we graded Grady. I think Grady was the second person we graded. And I want to say Grady had like an 8.5, 8.6 grade. It was high 8s. I know that. Correct, Daniel. David Starks gives him a 9. We are grading Troy Anderson also, by the way, y'all. Lisa Shepard checks in, says Troy Anderson gets a 9. So we got a 9 from Troy. Also, Facebook user says 100. That's the first 100 we've gotten on here, but hey, we're going to add it in. So he gets 100 from Facebook user. Eric Parker gives him a 10.5. Lisa Shepard says Montana State coming through for the Birds. Yes. So far, so good. Very, very impressive. Daniel says, I knew about Anderson and he was a gem, but definitely raw. I'll give him a solid 11. Okay. So high grades right there. So and Mo Lewis gives him a 7. Norman checks in, gives him a 9. Lisa says he tracked down that 9 to save a touchdown. That was a critical play. That'll probably go in the stat sheet just as another tackle. But that was a critical play. Facebook user says Troy 8.5 only because I think he's just scratching the surface. His ceiling is high. Yeah, still a lot of raw talent, man. Still a lot of raw talent. Sometimes he got all that speed. He finds himself out of position, over pursuing sometimes, and misses tackles here and there. But like you say, his ceiling is very, very high. So I love it. Daniel says he gets developed. He may turn into Kuechly. That's who he was compared to coming out, but as a raw prospect. Let's hope so, man, because Kuechly was like all pro virtually his entire career. So let's hope so. Scooter Rain says Troy definitely gets a 9. Facebook user Troy ball a 10, folks. Hey, I love it. Another 10. Facebook user also followed up 2 consecutive 10s. Okay. Anthony Moss is an 8. Once he gets to gain speed down and learn the system, he's gonna be trouble. I totally agree. Dan says I have 6 house calls over the past 2 years returning kicks, so average about 3 a year. Hey, boy, you need to watch out for that thing. That's not good for you there, sir. RJ Smith says Troy gets a 9. He's a baller. Ray Ellison checks in another 10. Dan says Anderson was the only one catching Buddy with my speed. And Rusty gives him a 9. Says Troy is a football player. Yeah. Y'all, I'm gonna have to. Once I see like all those 10s and somebody gave him 100, we're just gonna get a Ricky a 10. We just gonna have to give him a 10. He had like 4 or 5. I think he had about 5 10s. Somebody gave him 100, so we got to give him a 10. Perfect game. Perfect. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Arthur Smith treated his lineman the bills. We catch you out in the streets this week, Ricky. We owe you some bills. Salute, Troy Anderson. We couldn't ask for a better game, man. There was a lot of questions, like I said, after the draft when you was drafted. What are the Falcons doing? Who is this guy? And Troy Anderson has really been a bright spot so far. So keep it up, Troy. Keep it up, man. You becoming a fan favorite very early in your career. So keep up the great work, man. Keep up the great work. Let's see. Facebook user said, hey, what's up? From Jersey, checking in for Jersey. I get Troy a 9, so we got some late grades coming in for Troy. Let me see. Facebook user said, I was very happy with the defense as a whole. So was I. I totally agree. Dancer Anderson wouldn't have caught me. Hell no. Man, Anderson would have walked your ass down. Dang, knock it off. Anderson would have walked you down, bro. Get out of here. Melissa said, man, I'm mad I miss Grady. Y'all know I'm very critical of that man, but I got to give him his props. Grady been playing his ass off. Salute. Yeah, Mo, you are a big Grady critic. But you're right. You're right. He sure done made me eat crow early in the year, boy, because I was trying to trade his ass. I didn't want to pay him, but I do like the contract that he got. But yeah, man, Grady just been a man possessed. And we said earlier, Mo, that Grady is on pace to be first team All-Pro interior defensive lineman. So, man, and he's obviously been a great leader this year also. So shots out to Grady, man. Shots out to Grady. Joey Tribble is checking in from YouTube. What's up, Joey? How you doing today, bro? How's it going? Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our offense, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and grade Dean Pease since we talking about defense. Let's go ahead and grade Dean Pease. Let's look at the 49ers offensive stats before we get Pease's grade. 49ers had a total of 346 total yards against the Falcons. They passed the ball for 296 yards. They had 50 rushing yards against us. They averaged 6.1 yards per play. San Fran had 21 first downs. Now, this is very key. Now, this right here, y'all, is what's been killing us for like 20 years damn near. Third down efficiency. San Francisco was only 3 out of 8 on third down. That's big. That's big. They were 0 for 1 on fourth down. That's also big as well. They punted 3 times. They lost 1 fumble, and they had 2 interceptions. And their time of possession was only 26 minutes and 35 seconds. Hey, so what do y'all get Coach Pease? I didn't see him drinking no beer with nobody, but you don't hold that against Coach. What did y'all grade for Coach Pease today? Things will stop it. You know he ain't catching me. Shit, man, try to walk your ass down. Don't play, Daniel. Especially after fifth gear kicks in, I'm gone. I would have had to hit him with Tyreek Hill. Dude, somebody go get Daniel, man. I think Daniel been messing around with Rusty on that bone. David says 9.5. I love that we didn't get passive in the fourth yesterday. I agree with you on that, Dave. Facebook used 8.5 apiece. We held Debo on 100 yards. Oh, I didn't even think of that, man. You're right. You're right, man. And that's big for our defense. Davidson Anderson probably would have done me dirty and horse collared me. Nah, he'd just walk you down like he did that San Francisco dude. Mo Lewis says, I'm also very critical of Pease. Got to get that man his props as well. He been dialing that shit up as a hard 9 for me. So Mo Lewis, y'all, Mo Lewis kind of like John. He's a tough judge. So that says a lot if Mo Lewis gives you a 9. Thanks for using Pease 8.5. You haven't seen nothing yet. Wait to 2023 when we got some money. I feel that. Facebook use says an 8.5. Facebook use also says a 10. Lisa Shepard checks in and gives him a 10 also. Chad P. Bell checks in. I will give the DPs an 8.1. RJ Smith gives him an 8.5. Facebook user gives him an 8.5. Ray Ellison says a 10, probably the best defensive performance so far this year. I tend to agree with you on that, Ray. Eric Parker checks in a 9. Dan says Pease with the sensational adjustments for the second half shutout. I give him a 7. Gotta get to the damn quarterback. I respect that. Damn. Lee said this was the most complete game we played this season. I totally agree. It would have been the New Orleans game had we closed it, but we closed this game. So I'm with you on that, Lisa. John Harris gives Pease an 8.4. Norman gives him an 8.6. Anthony gives him an 8.5. We pushed the shutout in the second half. That was huge, Anthony. Very, very huge. Rusty said, damn, San Francisco passed for 290. Did not seem like it. I get Pease a 9. It didn't. And that's, them yards don't be really hitting you like that when they don't score. So, okay, y'all want to throw. Okay, look, underneath passes up middle. Okay, fine, but you're not getting in the end zone. So let's calculate P's up here. Let's see. 0.5, 8.8, 8.8, 8.8, 0.7, 7.6. 8.4. So y'all, it look and also Tia D checks in from Facebook 9.99. So almost perfect. I like that 9.99. That reminds me of The Price is Right. Hey y'all, Coach Pease, that's a 9. That's a hard, cold, solid 9. Coach, great job of getting our defense ready to play. Like a lot of y'all have already mentioned, shutting out the 49ers in the second half for the second consecutive game. Salute to Coach Pease. Defense is turning the corner, which we've been complaining about for years. The lack of defense at critical moments of the game, but we did not have that yesterday. So solid 9. So y'all, let's go to the offense, y'all. Let's run through our offense real quick. Where are we gonna start it on offense? Give me a second here. Let me scroll up and look at the offensive numbers. We run the ball so much, man. We be having to skip the wide receivers most times. But let's show the wide receivers some love today because we've been skipping them lately. Let's start off with Lisa. I still ain't learned his first name, but I'm gonna eventually learn it. Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was actually our leading wide receiver yesterday. He only had 4 catches, but he made some real critical and big catches for us yesterday. Zacchaeus had a total of 4 receptions. He had 58 yards. He averaged 14.5 yards per catch. The longest catch of the day was 37 yards. He got us 3 first downs, and you know what? He was targeted only 4 times and 4 receptions. So very, very efficient as far as his efficiency goes. So once again, 4 receptions, 58 yards, and 3 first downs. So what do y'all give Zacchaeus on a scale of 1 to 10 for his grade? Let's see here. You might see your boy to try it in the future. I applied to be a journalist for the Birds, but never heard back. I have a degree in sports science and sports journalism. And you just got to stay persistent with him, man. Yeah, persistency wins, man. Just stay persistent. Keep shooting him your resume, reaching out to him. I see a lot of people reach out to him on not Facebook, but on Twitter, man. So just keep reaching out to him. Chad Pale says they were showing rhythm. They definitely were. And then we said that earlier, they started getting in the rhythm. Aaron Parker gives the Kills a 9. Mo Lewis gives him an 8. Leave me alone, Dave. David Starks gives him an 8. RJ Smith gives him an 8.8. Facebook user Zach 8.5. Always the relief valve. I totally agree. Daniel gives him a solid 7. Facebook user comes in, gives him a 10. Anthony Moss comes in and says 9. OZ looking like a true vet out there. Yes, he is. He's probably gonna get another contract from us as well. I'm almost positive he will. Facebook user says an 8. This is coming from Mike. John Harris, a sneaky 10. Oh, boy. What y'all done did to John, man? Somebody go get the John Harris, I know, because John giving out 8.4s and 8s, and now he done gave somebody a 10. John Harris gives somebody a 10. What? Somebody go get the real John. John, who hacked your account? Somebody done hacked John's account. That probably Steve done hacked his account. So that ain't John, but we got to count it. That's a 10 for coming from John. Shan checking in from YouTube. The Dixon Way says, I didn't like Drake London pick, but I like the kid a lot after he got here. He got that Roddy White energy. Won't back down from anyone. Hey, absolutely dog. He got that Roddy White dog in it. And you right, Shan, I wasn't too happy about the pick initially either. I did a little crying and whining and bitching, for a few days. But after that, hey, that's what we got. Welcome to the family. And so far, he's been phenomenal as a rookie, especially being that we're now a real run-heavy team. We're not doing a lot of throwing, but he's made some big plays for us also. Let's see. RJ Smith says, Tyler, what is your Twitter account, man? Let me post it in the I was going to say I'm going to post it in the chat. Give me a second here. But I'll just tell it to you. It's Atlanta Bird Game. Just like the name of the group, Atlanta Bird Game. You can find us there on Twitter at Atlanta Bird Game. Let's see. Russell gives OZ a 8. Dan says John is off that Henny. Yeah, I think John is actually on some real strong South Georgia moonshine. Because I ain't never seen John get nobody no 10. Facebook user said, y'all know I'm from the country, man. So some of this stuff, it'd be tough for me to twist my tongue around some of this Olamide Zacchaeus. Olamide. Lisa tried to teach it to me, but I always forget. Olamide Zacchaeus. Thank you very much. JD Stacy says, I always saw talent in OZ. I'll give him an 8 just because I haven't seen enough. Not his fault, though. I agree. Facebook says all of John Scotch is gone. John Harris trying to stay out of Facebook. Man, John stay in Facebook jail. I'm telling you, he stayed locked up. Zuckerberg keep him locked down. Thea checks in and gives another 9.95 this time. All right, so we're gonna close the balance on Zacchaeus. Let's see what we got, y'all. Let's see. Let me go back up. 8.5, 8.4, 8.6, 8.5, 8.8, 8.9, 8.7. That's a 9. 8.8. Y'all, Zacchaeus is like 9.2, 9.3. Phenomenal game for Zacchaeus. 9.2, 9.3. Shoot, we can't ask for that better than that, And he's like the third option from our receivers. So shit, hell of a game, son. Let's move on. Next, I'm not gonna do too many receivers, but I gotta be fair. We gotta do Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts got a first touchdown of the year, so we gotta show him some love. So Kyle Pitts, again, y'all keep this in mind when you do grade. Let's be fair. We don't throw the ball much. Mariota only had 14 attempts, so that's gonna definitely trickle down and correlate to our pass catches also. But Kyle Pitts, 3 receptions, 19 yards, average only 6.3 yards per catch. Longest catch was only 7 yards, but he did have 1 touchdown. He had 2 first downs. And just like Zacchaeus, he was only targeted 3 times. So every time he got targeted, he made the catch. So let's run through those stats once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are grading Kyle Pitts on the scale of 1 to 10. His stats, Kyle Pitts, 3 receptions, 19 yards, 6.3 yards per reception. Longest of the day was a 7-yard reception, and he did have 1 touchdown. His first touchdown a year is actually for his first touchdown on U.S. soil as an NFL player. So shout out to Kyle Pitts. And then he did the Dirty Bird also, So if y'all want to give him some extra love for doing the Dirty Bird, be my guest. But Kyle Pitts, let's see what he got. Mo Lewis gives him a 7. Let's see. Daniel says people are going to be mad about this. I'll give Kyle Pitts a solid 6. He blocked well yesterday. Kyle Pitts is starting to do a good job as a downfield blocker. Kind of like Julio in his prime. Julio was a good downfield blocker. Sanu was a good downfield blocker too. And I'm starting to see Pitts, coming to his own as far as downfield blocking go. Facebook user says a 9. I see you blocking, and I appreciate that. That's just what Dan just said too. So shout out to Pitts for blocking. David Starr says 8. The seal block on Huntley, big run. That sealed the game was big. Yes. I love the fact that we're noticing that too, y'all. Anthony Moss says 8. Kyle Pitts was blocking out there. Yeah. So somebody else gave him props on his blocking. Eric Parker gives him an 8. Facebook user says 10. He blocked great to open up holes for the running backs. That's like the 5th person that's talked about his blocking. So it's great to see that we are noticing that about his game. Chad P. Bell says, it's like we found our rhythm. True. The end of the bus game, it ran through this game. Pitts gets a 9 for the strut. Facebook user says, this is Jimmy. 7 Pitts. He did what he was asked for. True that. Robert checking in. What's up, Robert? Says a 7.5 for Kyle Pitts. RJ Smith says a 7.6. Facebook user says his Dirty Bird looked like a sick bird. Hey man, don't do that, man, like that. Man. Hey, we got to get somebody to work on him with his Dirty Bird. I figure. Let's see. Daniel says Hodge may be the best blocker at wideout though. Facebook user gives him a 5. Mo Lewis says that if we're gonna be a heavy run team, why we take Pitts at 4. I need to see him get more targets. Period. I'm quite sure like when I don't want to sound negative, but whenever we do get like our quote unquote franchise quarterback, I don't think definitely sure that it won't be Mariota. But I think Arthur Smith will definitely open up the playbook at that point in time. Especially with them taking Drake London at 8. So they got to make that make sense. Russ is not trying to be hard on the wide receivers, but it's hard for me to give too high of a grade when they only get a target 2 or 3 times a game. Not enough on the resume, but Kyle Pitts gets an 8 still. Think he plays south though. I can respect it. Dan says Pitts towers over everybody that covers him. John Harris. Oh, that's the John Harris I know. He gave him a 6. All right, so we're gonna close the ballot on Kyle Pitts. Let's add him up real quick. Let's see here. 7.2, 7.3, 7.3, 7.4. So Kyle Pitts gives it like about a 7.5. 7.5. Still a pretty good game. Shout out for you for getting your first touchdown. So, you got a 7.5 from us. Good game, Kyle. Good game. As Mo pointed out, we still need to throw the ball more, but I guess as long as we win and hopefully that'll fall in play when it does happen. So let's move on. We're gonna lead the wide receiver group, and we're gonna go to the running backs at this time since we do a lot of running now. Let's start off with Caleb Huntley, who actually had the most rushing attempts on the team yesterday. Excuse me, y'all, real quick. Caleb Huntley had a total of 16 carries for 59 yards. He averaged 3.7 yards per attempt. And again, this is Caleb Huntley, who came on big for us these last 2 weeks. Total 16 carries, 59 yards, 3.7 yards per carry. No touchdown. Longest carry of the day was 16 yards. What do y'all give Caleb Huntley on a scale of 1 to 10? And while y'all do that, let me hit something on my phone real quick. Come on. Let's see. Robert Legend says, I thought he was having a seizure. He was in the Dirty Bird too. Y'all killing that man, Dance. Dance is Kyle Pitts looked like Frank's out there blocking. David starts at 7.8, ran hard, fell forward on each run. Yeah, he has a knack for doing that too, I'm noticing. Dan says Huntley may take the lead role if he keeps running the way he's been doing. Maybe so. Maybe so. But I can almost assure you, Azure ain't going to go down without a fight. Face with Uta says a 7.5. Anthony Moss says a 7. Eric Parker gives him a 7. Face with Uta says a 9 for Huntley. Mr. Falling Forward. Yep. Yeah, everybody noticing that. John Harris says 8. Huntley hard 8. He showed everybody how to run. All right, so liking these grades so far. Robert Lindsay gives him a 7. So we are grading Huntley. Any more grades for Huntley before we close the ballots? Just a moment, yo. There we go. All right, and let's see. Daniel says a 9 keeps the leg turning. Huntley 8.5, and that's coming from RJ Smith. So let's do our tally, y'all, real quick for Huntley. Let's see. 8.1. That's a 7. 7.2. 7.3. 7.2. 7.2. 7.4. 7.3. 7.3. So Huntley, y'all, right around 7.4, 7.5. Very, very good game for him. You know, hey, back up. You know, leading us now. Actually, practice squad team guy, and he leading us in rushing attempts. So we're gonna take that 7.4, 7.5 all day long. We ain't gonna complain about that. Runs hard, and always, like y'all say, finds a way to be falling forward for extra yards. So we'll take that. So let's move on to our other running back, Tyler Algier, our rookie who we took in the 4th round. Algier had a total of 15 attempts for 51 yards, 3.4 yards per attempt. His longest rush of the day was 8 yards. So let me give you those numbers one more time. Tyler Algier, we're grading him on a scale from 1 to 10. He had a total of 16 carries. He had 51 rushing yards and averaged 3.4 yards per attempt. Longest rush of the day was 8 yards. We're grading Tyler Algier. What do y'all give Algier for yesterday? Let's see. So we got one coming in, and this comes from Facebook. User gives Algier a 8. Dan says, I watch a lot of BYU games. Algier carried that BYU team. He runs hard. I'll give him a 7. Steve gives him says Tyler 7. Tough running. Even the yards don't show up. I totally agree. Runs very, very tough. JD gives him a 7. John Harris gives him a 7. Anthony Moss gives him a 7. Eric Parker checks in at a 7 also. Chad P. Bell checks in and says a 9. Algier, he played well for a rookie. I agree. Mo Lewis comes in and gives him a 6. RJ Smith has him at an 8. David Stark says a 7. Help Huntley keep hitting the 49ers in the chest. And yeah, by like toward the end of the 3rd quarter, they didn't want no more of them running backs. Them running backs was punishing them. So let's do our average up here for Algier here. Give me just a second. Let's see. 7.27. He's like right at a 7, y'all. Right at a 7. Hey, good showing for a rookie, man. Running hard, running tough for us, holding on to the ball. So good game, Rook. Keep up the great work, rookie. Hey, we love it. We absolutely love it. So I think only now we got to do our quarterback here, and then that'll conclude it for the day. So our quarterback, Mr. Marcus Mariota, passed. He was passing, and as we already talked about, y'all, we don't pass a lot, so keep that in mind also. But he was 13 out of 14. 13 out of 14, man. That's can't ask for more than that as far as the completion percentage. But 13 out of 14, 129 total yards, 9.2 yards per attempt, which is, if you're looking at it from an average standpoint, that's excellent. That's being proficient when you do throw the ball. 9.2 yards per attempt. That's great. Had a total of 2 passing touchdowns. Very important for Mariota. No interceptions. His QBR was 95.8. His quarterback rating was 144.6. And also, he had 6 carries, 50 yards, 8.3 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Longest run of the day was a big 20-yard game. Let me give you those numbers once again. Marcus Mariota, he passed the ball. He was 13 out of 14, 129 yards, averaged 9.2 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns passing, no interceptions. QBR was 95.8. That's good. That's very good. Had a 144.6 rating. Running the ball, he had 6 carries, but he gave us 50 yards, third leading rusher, 8.3 yards per attempt running the ball, 1 touchdown. So Mariota, no turnovers yesterday. We got to say that, and 3 touchdowns. So what say you? What grade do y'all give Mariota for yesterday? So let's see here. We got Facebook in with 10. Dang, 1,000. You trying to mess up my average day. David Starr says an 8. Offense stayed on schedule. I agree. Facebook user says 11 out of 10. He was outstanding yesterday. I totally agree. Eric Parker gives him a 10. Mo Lewis gives him a 8. Chad P. Bell checks in. He was keeping upbeat. Give him 8.1. Facebook user gives him an 8. Facebook user also says Mariota solid 9 after 2.5 years. He was rusty, but he's coming around yesterday, and he had a damn near perfect game. I love it. Love that. Steve gives him a 10. Okay, so surprising. Surprise, Steve comes in with a 10. Sorry, folks, stats don't lie. 1 missed attempt, no turnovers. Ritter will have to wait. So he's saying that with that performance yesterday, he told the rookie to continue to keep the Gatorade warm. He told Ritter the only time you're going to start this year is when you turn on your Xbox and you play Madden. Anthony Moss, 9.5. I think he's finally comfortable and trusting the offense and didn't turn the ball over. That's critical because we've seen Mariota make some bonehead turnovers. JD Stacy checks in 9.5 because he threw a drop INT. So you got to give him a demerit for that. I feel you. Robert says a 9. No turnovers, kept drives alive. That he did. He did that very well yesterday. Got to give him props on that. Rusty says, I was worried about the game where our run game is shut down and we got to pass. But for this game, he gets a 9.5, and Rusty is a big-time Mariota critic, so that's a very surprising grade coming in from Mariota. But personally, man, I think Mariota was outstanding yesterday from my vantage point. So I was like y'all saying, I'm happy to see him start to come around also. John Harris checks in, boy, I don't know what they got at John today. That's another 10. John giving people 10s. Boy. John, I'm gonna tell Chuckery, you ain't here being nice. I'm gonna hit Chucker up on Twitter and say John ain't here being nice and he being passive, with these players. And I'm gonna tell Chucker on you, John. But no, all BS aside, Johnson Mariota 10 for not killing the team with mistakes. Yeah, and we got to give him props for that also. Got to give him props for that. Not killing us with bonehead turnovers. Dan says we seen the highs from Mariota yesterday. Let's hope he continues that throughout the season. But let's tally this up right here. Real quick. 10, 9.6, 9.6, 9.5, 9.6. Y'all, and Tia checking in with a 10. Tia say perfect game, 10. I'm shocked to say this, but shit. Doing the math, he like a 9.5, 9.6, y'all. 9.5, 9.6. So we won the game. He didn't have no turnovers. Let's just go ahead and throw him that 10, man. Let's just go and throw him a 10. Perfect game, Marcus Mariota. Perfect game. And that's how we need you to play the entire year. Mariota, he looked poised. He looked composed. And you know what? For the first time, I can really say Mariota looked confident all game long. I know if Arthur Smith maybe pulled him in the office and said, hey, settle down. Stop looking over your shoulder. This is your job. Don't worry about the chatter that people are saying. This is your job. Settle down. I got confidence in you. This team has confidence in you. Settle down. play the game that I know you can play. He went out there and he played a perfect game for us and secured a big victory for the Falcons. So, hey, props out to you, MM1. Props to you. Steve said John drinking that Mary Otis the drunk moonshine. I said earlier, man, John on that moonshine today. Joey Trevor says I give him a 10 with 3 TDs and no turnovers. Yeah, say hey, perfect game. So perfect game for Mariota, y'all. We are all ecstatic on how he played yesterday. So let's go ahead and give our coach Arthur Smith his points, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. Appreciate y'all rock with me today. Since he's our offensive guy, let me give y'all the offensive numbers real quickly. We had a total of 289 yards yesterday on offense. We had a 121 rushing yards total yesterday. Again, we ate their ass up on the run game, though. We had 168 yards rushing yesterday. We averaged 5.2 yards per play. We had 18 first downs. Now, we talked about third down efficiency. San Francisco was 3 out of 8 on third downs. Atlanta Falcons yesterday, 9 out of 14 on third down. That's how you win football games. You win that stat, you're going to win a lot more than you lose. So shout out to the Falcons. We did allow 2 sacks. We putted the ball 5 times. We had 5 penalties for 40 yards. I'll take that in the day of the week. Didn't lose any fumbles. Didn't throw any interceptions. And we easily won the time of possession. We had 33 minutes and 25 seconds worth of football where we possessed the ball compared to them only having 26 minutes. And as we talked about when we first came on, give Arthur Smith a little credit for drinking some beers with his offensive line. I think that was very big of him. I like to see that. So, with that said, hey, what are we going to give our head coach, y'all? What them grades looking like? Dagan says he's going to buy Mariota jersey after that performance. Says Coach Smith gets 1,000, kept offensive rhythm. David Stark says 10. The way we ran the ball, outstanding. I love it. I totally love it. Facebook user Smith 10, from coaching choices to players' choices to play calling. He's showing his worth. Y'all can bury us if he wants to. Hey, he done bounced back from that. I was giving him hell about that, but hey, when you start winning, hey, say what you want, how you want. When you start winning, hey, I'm cool. I ain't got no complaints with it. Chad P. Bell checks in and says it was the end of the Tampa game. He started sinking and it kept rolling. Coach gets a 9 from Chad. Mike checks in, gives him a 10. So again, we are grading Coach Arthur Smith right now at this point in time. You said 10,000. I ain't staying. You and rest of y'all be on them bones. I ain't even count that 10,000. Eric Parker says 10 all the way is working. Anthony Moss checks in 10. One thing I like about Coach, he knows how to prep and plan. Yeah, you absolutely correct. JD Stacy says Arthur Smith a 10 for making it work. True indeed. So any other grades for Coach Arthur Smith before we close up the ballot? Any other grades coming up for him? Because so far it looks like he's gonna get a exceptional grade. John Harris comes in and says a 9, but I'm gonna need him to get thrown out of a game for cussing. John, this ain't Major League Baseball, man. Thea comes in and gives him a 10. Facebook user comes in and gives him a 10. Robert Lindsay, a 10. His play calling is getting better. I'm loving the RPO plays. Dan says, I don't even smoke. I would have still run 4-4 if I did that mess. Oh. Hey, y'all. So it looks like perfect 10. Gotta get Coach Smith a 10, man. The team, like somebody say, they look prepared. They were disciplined yesterday, didn't turn the ball over. And they just they're coming out here just with a different energy, man, just a different feel, a different look when you watch them. And you got to give Coach Smith all the props in the world for doing that. So that's it for our player ratings, our player grades. Coach Smith ends it, the grand finale. He ends it with a 10. So we had a lot of 10s today. And as we see, y'all, when you start winning, you winning convincingly, and you're playing dominant football. You give good grades, and that's what keeps the fans happy, keeps everybody happy. Also, Travis Preston checking in. So Troy Anderson, Troy got a 10 also. Troy got a 10. Coach Smith got a 10. I think 2 other people got a 10. This is the highest grades that we've given since we've been doing this, y'all. The highest grades we've given. But listen, I'm gonna check out of here, y'all. Also, y'all stay tuned, man, because right after me, Steve Johnson, Uncle Steve, he's gonna come on. He's gonna be doing the aftermath show. So make sure you stay tuned for that. He's gonna come on right after I do. He's gonna do the aftermath show. So stay tuned with that. And also, y'all make sure to check us out, Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube now. Got the YouTube going. Got some Falcons content on there that you won't always see in the Atlanta Bird Gang group. But yeah, please give me a follow or give us a follow, on YouTube. We're under Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube. So make sure to check us out on YouTube. And again, Steve is coming on right after me. Hey, y'all. I appreciate y'all time, and I really appreciate y'all's interaction when we get these grades. I enjoy doing it. So thank y'all for rocking with me, man. Hey, but I think Cincinnati on deck, So, hey, see y'all next week after the game. I'm out of here. Peace.